Watch the ride.
I need to make this video to thank each and every one of you. If you saw yesterday's video, you'll know what I talked about with my mum passing recently, the living situation we're in, and what my family have got to do now to sort this house out in the next year. And also me and Reno have to obviously do that, as well as I'm starting a new job in November, which means I won't do YouTube quite as much, but I will still do it. And obviously us then moving into our own place, and I talked about the worries that I had with that. And through your outstanding generosity, I'm having problems processing this at the moment, that how I felt for months worrying about things coming up in the future and how that has evaporated overnight. I can happily say that me and Reno, I'll be able to cover my half of the bills without any question, and we'll be in a much better position to move into our new place when that comes, when we start the new chapter of our lives. I want to say a massive thank you on behalf of my family for all the kind messages you said about my mum, and all the kind messages you sent to us. In this time where the world can seem very full of hate, but just very chaotic, you don't see a lot of just genuine love, generosity and support for other people. I'm still processing that whole side of it. I've read every comment you've left. If I've hearted it, I've read it, and I'm keeping up with them best I can. But I have to give you just the biggest thank you. I can't do more than say words, but honestly, you've changed our lives. You've changed our future. So now, as me and my family, work through the process of clearing this house and sorting everything out, I don't need to worry about covering the bills in the meantime, and I know that things are going to be okay as we move forward. So thank you so much. If you weren't able to help, as I've said in the video, I didn't want anyone to help in a way that they would notice. If you weren't able to help, if you left a like on the video, if you just left a kind message, thank you so much. It means so much, as I say, to just read some positive things. I also want to say thank you to people who've helped probably remove mostly. I think I have to process a lot of things, but the feeling of, embarrassment of living with my parents at 40, well, my mum at 40, even though I was caring for her and it was a beneficial thing for us all, I still was brought up with a set of rules where, you're supposed to do this by this age, do this by this age, you're supposed to be out by this age, be married, have kids, whatever. And I've definitely walked the path less followed. Like deciding not to have kids when I was much younger. And I know there's a lot of people out there who must feel exactly the same as me, because one of the things that brought me comfort was reading all the messages from other people who are currently going through the same, have been through the same, or know they're going to go through the same in the future. It's really difficult, I know. I've lived it. So if you are feeling like you haven't reached something that you thought you should have because of some of the ways that things used to be, you can probably worry a little less. Because I think most people do understand that the world we live in now is not the one we were in 25, 30 years ago. I really hope we can get back to those easier times, but the world is the world right now. So as I say, thank you so much to all of you for your kind messages, your support, everything. Now, as I say, I love doing YouTube. I want to keep doing it, even if it's one video a week. It may not be for the next few weeks. Obviously, my family, we've got a lot of paperwork to sort through. We've got a lot of stuff to start sifting through. There's an awful lot of work to be done. We're all taking our part and working together to get that done for my mum. And that's what she would want. But as I say, at least for me and Reno, throughout all this time, I don't need to worry about supporting her and meeting my half of everything. And as we move forward, moving into our new place and starting our new life. There's just so much has happened in such a short amount of time. It's not even been 7 days since my mum passed. And it feels like 6 months already. As I also mentioned, as things calm down in the future, I want to start doing a live stream. I think it would be cool to do that like one evening a week, maybe 2 hours a week, one night. I think that was something I'd like to do. Because it's a really easy way to, even if I don't get a video made that week, I can interact with you guys, we can talk about things, and then when that stream ends, it becomes a video that people can watch if they wish, or listen to in the background. The live stream's always good for that sort of thing, and I do so much of listening to videos in the background while I'm doing what I need to do. While I've been clearing stuff out, while I'm working on the clocks. I'm nearly finished with those 3 clocks to finish up the metalworks. As you can tell, I'm kind of in a washing machine of emotions. And I know things will improve in time. And as we get each thing chipped away, it's going to be easier and easier. It's just we're currently looking at a big mountain of stuff to be done that I know is stressful for me, my sister, and my brother. So we can get through this and move forward. And I know that's what my mum would have wanted. She would have wanted us to all be happy and move forward in the best way that we can. So that's kind of what I need to say. There is a point I'd like to make because I think you've helped me realise this, but it's also something I sort of did in the past before everything that's recently happened, is if you're feeling bad about things, if you're worried about, if you spend a lot of time looking online and you're feeling very bad about the way things are in the world, just remember that there's a lot of very level-headed, normal, everyday people out there in the real world who don't talk online much. They keep themselves to themselves. And if you don't realise that, it can feel like the whole world's going crazy. Now, one of the things I used to do, if I was feeling particularly bad and I'd go out for a walk or something, is I would smile at people I go past. I would move out of their way. I would be courteous. I would have manners. And in doing that, you get a sense of, sometimes you'll smile at someone and you'll see their face lighten up like they haven't seen someone smile at them in a month. And that little human connection is beneficial for both of you. And like with me, if you're feeling bad about not being in a place you thought you were supposed to be by some certain time, I think you can let that go and just work on your own happiness, because that's what we all need to do. At the end of the day, I think that's what we all want. We all want to be able to just live, be happy, and live our lives. And the better that we can, as a society, harmoniously work together, the better things will be. Another thing I want to say to all of the NHS workers who, like the ambulance crews that came to help my mum, the nurses that helped her, the doctors, everyone, I've been blown away by the amount of compassion and just kindness I've seen from them. I know it is a job that can make you, because to survive it, you have to become a little bit cold to it. If you see things every day, if you see people dying every day, it's something that becomes part of your job. But it didn't feel like it was part of the nurses we were talking to, it didn't feel like it was just part of their job. They seemed to really care for her and be by her side at times. And I am so grateful for you for that. So everyone who works in the services, who looks after people in this country, which is very often a very thankless job, and even sometimes you get abused by people, I appreciate it, and I think a lot of people do appreciate it. When I went to the hospital to pick up my mum's bits and pieces, I saw 2 of the nurses that had been there the previous day that were caring for her, and I stopped for a moment and just said, I had a few words and just said, thank you so much for looking after my mum. And they almost looked surprised that someone was thanking them. So, as I say, with this whole thing of just, we need to show more care for each other, and you've shown that for me, even though you don't really know me other than the videos. I mean, I guess if you followed me for 15 years, you know me very, very well. Maybe you met me at a sausage fest or something like that. But yeah, I don't know what my point is. I think my point here is just that, don't get lost in the world of what you think things should be, or the way that things are on social media. There's a real world out there with real people, and they tend to be a lot more reasonable and not necessarily so vocal. Yeah, I think that's all I need to cover. As I say, a massive thank you for all of your messages and your condolences for me and my family. We're going to work together and get through this. And a massive thank you for taking that pressure off of me and Reno of just living for now and moving forward as we get into our own place. And I'm looking forward to that new chapter of my life. And I owe so much to you for removing that stress, but also to allowing me, when you've supported me for all this time, to do YouTube, which both allowed me to do a job which I loved, that I felt like I was helping people with, and also that allowed me to have the freedom to be able to help my mum. Because as I say, there are few jobs in this world that you can pick up and drop like you can YouTube. And that's why I was glad that I was able to, it was an easier thing for me to do, to be there for my mum than, you know, my brother and sister who have to work jobs. My brother has kids to look after. You know, when you're in a set job and you can't just drop things at a moment, you can't do what I, you know, to be around as much as I was. And I totally get that. That's fine. Well, there you go. As I say, it's very, very strange to, in less than 24 hours, go from months and months of worry about certain things and then those things to just evaporate overnight. I think I need to compute that as much as everything else. So today I'm going to go and finish the clocks, do a bit more cleaning and tidying and sorting, and keep just chipping away at this big task that me and my family have got to get through. Obviously, me being here means I can do a lot that can be done in between. Thanks, guys. Reno also is very grateful, but again, she's working because, like, as I say, normal jobs, you just have to work. Bye-bye.